An influencer has made a countdown towards her 18th birthday to, are you ready? To make an OF account. And it only gets worse. It only gets worse. In the first day since she made this OF account, she's made $1 million from the platform. This means that she was 17 and provoking people with the fact that she was gonna open an OF account the moment she turned 18. And the moment she did, thousands of degenerate men, and some women I'm sure, subscribed, and thus she profited with $1 million on that very first day. Sickening. So we're talking about Little Tay. If you're not familiar with her, it's a girl who actually grew up in front of the camera, who grew up on social media. She has been viral ever since she was a little girl. I understand as young as like 9 or 10. She's been doing videos. She's been doing lots of like clownish things, like pretending to be rich and insulting people and screaming.
Can I ask you a question?
Oh, sure, go ahead.
Why your mama make you so ugly?
This is why all y'all fucking haters hate me, bitch. This shit cost me $200,000. I'm only 9 years old. I ain't got no license, but I still drive this sports car.
It gets very disturbing because it turns out that they found out that it was actually her brother who was manipulating things behind the scenes and kind of exposing her and, you know, using her to make money, basically profiting off her. Whereas her mom was a real estate agent who was using the homes that she was supposed to sell without permission so that Little Tay would make her videos and go viral. So a very dysfunctional family, it's clear.
No one's forcing me to do this. That's not true that she wants to make money off of me. My mom doesn't run social media. I use my own Instagram. This is my decision. I'm happy with what I'm doing.
I mean, you could also kind of expect it with cases like this. Very rarely do girls from functional families end up opening an OF account at 18. I don't care what anyone says. Like, I know there's some examples of girls out there right now, like Bunny Blue and Lily Phillips, who are like, oh no, I grew up in like the most normal of homes. Absolutely no way. There's absolutely no way that you grew up in a normal home and the moment you turn 18, you start doing all these crazy things. And on top of that, their parents help them to sell themselves as a piece of meat. So I don't buy that for a second. I'm sure there are some exceptions there, but for the most part, most of these cases do come from very dysfunctional families. And in the case of Little Tay, it is understood that there was a lot of exploitation going down as she was growing up. I mean, she was making tons of money and the people behind it all were her family, which is very sad. She was basically like a kid in the circus without a real word as to what goes on in the show. And I even understand that at some point she like disappeared and she was like faking her death, and now she came back with the whole OF shenanigans.
So it's my 18th birthday on July 29th, and every mail has been counting down to it and literally telling me to drop the link the second I turn 18. Girlies, what do you think? Should I do it?
And of course, their only profile says things like, shh, don't tell my mom that I'm doing this. Like, you know, very much playing with that idea of minors being on this platform and that very corn sexualized idea of, you know, the stepdaughter and make sure mom doesn't know. And I just turned 18, I'm barely legal, and all these extremely creepy corn categories that we've come to normalize as a society and that to me are just deeply disturbing. I mean, it's one thing to potentially be attracted to someone who's an adult. Sometimes you can't really help attraction. It's one thing for that, and it's another thing to act upon it, of course, especially when there's a big gap in age difference. And it's another step of degeneracy to watch somebody growing up in social media, and the moment she turns 18, you go watch her sexualize herself. Like, how can you even see somebody who was a little kid, I don't know, a few years ago, and who looks extremely young, because this girl still looks like a teenager, and the moment she turns 18, you automatically, a switch turns on in your mind and now you want to see her naked? Or maybe was it that you were already having fantasies with her when she was a minor? My problem with this is the fact that lots of people justify this kind of behavior with the whole like, oh, it's legal, oh, you know, there's consent. That should not be the only parameter that we move under. Something being legal or consensual, it's not the only thing we should care about. And it shows that it's the only thing we're caring about as a society, and it's clear that it's not going well. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I think everybody's screwed up, everybody's bitter, everybody's miserable. Relationships are absolutely a disaster nowadays. Everybody seems to be taking advantage of one another, and I wonder why. It's because we're promoting these ideals. Oh well, as long as it's legal. It's very much that same mentality that lots of men have with the whole Lily Phillips and Bonnie Blue situation. You know, the man that would stand in line to have those couple of minutes with the girl that's been with another 90 men before you. And those two girls, I don't particularly feel any compassion for at this point. You know, they've kind of dug their own grave. But regarding the men that get in line to have a shot with them or whatever they think they're doing, they justify their disgusting actions on the fact that it's legal and these girls are consenting, which they are, and it is legal, I guess. But you're clearly doing a disservice, at the very least, to that person, to yourself, to society as a whole. Like, this message that you're putting out there, the videos that are being filmed as a result of this, all under the premise of, oh, it's legal and consensual. I really do think that we need to expect way more of ourselves as people in a society in the Western world than just, oh, it's legal and it's consensual. There needs to be way higher standards for us to be good people that can coexist with each other and treat each other well, because this is literally our demise, not caring about what we're doing to one another. And when it comes to Little Tay, it's even worse, because when you grow up in front of a camera and you're being basically told, even if it's indirectly, you know, I'm sure no one went up to her and was like, you're only good for being a clown and being exploited and your family exploiting you for money. I'm sure nobody told her that directly, or at least I hope so, but I'm sure she understood that indirectly. So when you grow up doing that, and then you turn 18 and now you decide that it's your turn to exploit yourself, is that really a free choice to begin with? Because honestly, I don't really think so. This just goes way beyond Little Tay at this point, and it just really shows how online fame, sometimes parental neglect, hypersexualization are creating a new generation of women who are just monetizing their trauma because they don't really know another way out of it, or they don't really know what else to do with themselves than just be a piece of meat for degenerates. And it also really frustrates me because it feels like we're only pushing the very dark traits with men and women, you know? With women, we seem to only be pushing the whole like sexualize yourself and you're only good for that. You're only good for objectification and for being a piece of meat. There's really not much more beyond you, and go use everyone that you can for money and it's all justifiable, and don't have anything else going for yourself, instead of promoting all the other positive traits that we as women are capable of, or all the other talents that we can potentially have. And same thing goes for men, you know, we're all promoting this whole like, go buy your OF and go subscribe to corn and this and that, and just be a whole perfect and a whole addict to all these dopamine inducing situations. And who cares if she just turned 18? I mean, she's legal and she's giving her consent, isn't she? I mean, and it's normal, you're a guy and you're attracted to young, healthy, fertile women. And yet, why is no one promoting the other side of masculinity, which is the one that's supposed to take care of us as a society, take care of the more vulnerable people? And I do think Little Tay is part of that. Even if she's like, I don't know much about her, you know, but even if she's like crazy or whatever, she's clearly not somebody who's well, and she's clearly not somebody that was raised in a good environment. And I don't think as a result she's the kind of person that people should be exploiting further. I think in fact she should be the kind of person that people should be taking care of, if anything, you know? Even if taking care of her, of this stranger that you don't know, just means not subscribing to her only the moment that she turns 18. Is that so much to ask for? I mean, not to get like so cheesy and kumbaya here, but the world would just be such a better place if we actually saw each other that way. I mean, I'm sure all these guys that are subscribing to her stuff, they would not like this in the slightest if this was, you know, their sister or their daughters or their girlfriends or their nieces or their cousins or whatever it was. But because they just see it as this random young girl, they don't really care, and that's messed up because they're completely neglecting that side of masculinity, which is supposed to be protective, which would get extremely upset if something like this were to happen to a young woman they loved. So as a society, we're just normalizing the absolute worst right now, and I don't know about you guys, but I'm getting so tired with it. Also, the amount of girls that are seeing this and they're like, damn, like the moment I turn 18, I'm gonna do the same. I'm also gonna make $1 million. Let me do that. Let me do a countdown. Let me start, you know, touching with the idea, very much like Sophie Rain did, that she had a following before she was like 19 or something. I'm not even sure, but it's what happened, and she also made an insane amount of money because again, we're sending this idea, girls, minors, this is where you should aim for. And the fact that these girls, they're making these decisions that are gonna be lifelong, you know, they're making decisions that are gonna be lifelong at the fresh age of 18. These images are going to be online forever. The consequences of this is going to impact them forever. No matter if tomorrow they decide to change careers, if they try to erase everything from the internet, that's not how it works. It's going to literally affect them the rest of their lives. And they're making that decision at 18. And as a society, we're like, yeah. We're going to give you $1 million for deciding to ruin your life at 17 years old. Go for it. Someone tell me if that's not literally despicable. Let's look at some tweets. Little Tay posts her OF images at exactly 12:01 a.m. on the day she turns 18. You realize everything she posted was before she turned 18, right? Also, this shows how Visa and MasterCard legit don't give a fuck about actual problems and children. Here's what she posted. She's like, not bad for 3 hours. We broke the fuck out of that OF record. I guess she's referencing Bad Babies. Is it Bad Babe? No, it's Bad Babies, right? Bad Babies' previous record that she had also made like almost 1 million when she turned 18. Who is a similar example. She also literally grew up as a teenager in front of media. But evidently, degenerates and perverts and sick people do not care. And here she's showing how she made 1 million. Have 1 million in subscriptions, the rest in messages, tips, and whatever else this even is. And yeah, it's an interesting point how she was even able to do this before she turned 18. Because wouldn't that be like child porn? I don't even know. I don't even want to get there. But again, my main issue with this is not even Little Tay. I mean, girl is clearly going through some stuff and she clearly has not been raised by the best of people. But it's just the way we're normalizing this. It's so normal, you know. It's like, oh yeah, another influencer who's doing a countdown till she turns 18 to open her OF. It really just keeps sending the message that that's all women are good for, that's all women should do when they turn 18, that it's totally okay for men to be contributing to this and spending their hard-earned money that many times even belongs to their families. Many of these men have families, and instead of contributing this money to their family, they're doing it behind their wives' back, sending it to 18-year-olds. It's definitely a very sad moment, and it all comes from that. It all stems from that whole like, oh well, who cares, like I'm not hurting anyone, it's consensual, it's legal, this, that. Like the moment we stop caring about the effects of the things that we're doing, we're completely doomed as a society. And it's clear that that's the route that we're going in. I would love to hear you guys' thoughts on this. Please give me your likes, please subscribe, and I will see you very soon.